Right guys, so behind me here I've got a Honda Civic Type R. Now we've had a lot of Honda Civic Type Rs on my channel recently because I just seem to attract Civic Type Rs. Like, I love them, absolutely love them. I do videos on them all the time and then I attract more. It's just like, it just happens I suppose. But this one here is a very special one. Look at that big rear wing. We will talk about that shortly. This is a low mileage example of a Honda Civic Type R FN2 Mugen 200 edition, all right? It is a very cool thing. I've never had one in my life before. I've never had one in my channel before. I've now got one in stock. Let's get on with the intro and tell you all about it, all right? Let's go. Here we go then guys, 2010 Championship White Mugen 200 edition FN2 Type R. That's a mouthful. That's what she said. Name for a car, isn't it? So obviously it is Championship White, very special Honda colour that is. I've done a video recently on the Championship White edition FN2 Type R. Ironically, there is quite a lot of differences between, I'd say a lot of differences. I suppose the biggest difference is this one's rarer, yeah? That's basically the main difference. But Championship White is a lovely colour on any Honda, and yeah, this thing sat in front of you, it does look like a seriously special thing. Like, look at that. Now the 200 actually represents the number that was made, not the number of, or the number of horses under the bonnet, although it does have 200 brake horsepower under the bonnet. It's just a coincidence that it's called a Mugen 200. They made 200 of these cars, so they are super rare. And the main difference really is visuals. There isn't much more to it. They're visually different. And they do also have an LSD, which is amazing, all right? So we're going to do the usual thing in this video. We're going to go for a wander around it. I'm going to talk you through the differences between this car and a normal Civic Type R. And then we're going to go for a little drive in it, go through HPI as well before we go for a drive, and do all the usual stuff, all right? So visual differences as we start at the front. We've got this Mugen splitter. Now Mugen was a company who partnered up with Honda to create beautiful things for Hondas, all right? So Mugen have come along, they've stuck on this front splitter with that black gloss lip across the front there. We've got these gloss black air ducts as well on the front bumper, which look really nice. Then as we come around the side, we've got these 19-inch wheels that are exclusive to the Mugen edition Type Rs. But I'll be honest, I'm going to be brutally honest about these wheels. I'm not a fan of them. I think they could have gone for something a bit more track sort of spec looking, a bit more, I don't know, these wheels look like they're almost been removed from a Civic SE or something like that. They're nice wheels, they are nice wheels, but I just feel like they could have gone for something a bit more raw looking. Lovely wheels though, yeah? They are unique to the car, like I say. And then as we come around to the rear, the Mugen rear spoiler. That rear wing is an absolute gem of a rear wing. Now that was actually an optional extra on the Mugen Type Rs. This car wasn't spec'd with that from factory. We've still got the original spoiler, but the customer that we bought it off decided to buy that spoiler, put it on, and he's given us a pair of them when he sold us the car, which was really nice. I just feel like that had to stay on the car. That is a big feature on the rear of that car. So the rear diffuser as well, that is unique to the Mugen Type R. You can see the exhaust tips are slightly different to the usual one as well. Usually the original GT Type Rs have got like a triangular exhaust tips. They look really cool, to be fair, but this looks better, I think. So as we hop in on the inside, by the way, spoiler's got a nice bit of carbon on top there, and the Mugen badge on the side there. That looks really good, doesn't it? On the inside, guys, there isn't massive amount of differences. Oh, by the way, did I mention that it's got these carbon? I don't think they come on the Mugen cars, but this car does have this car does have carbon fibre mirror caps. All right, on the inside there isn't actually, yeah, there's no differences. Although this car is absolutely, I mean, look how fresh this car is, man. Absolutely fresh. I've always thought that's quite funny that you've got this space below the rear seats on a Civic Type R, but you do, yeah. Stick that back, kind of like that. Yeah, I suppose the main difference really between this and a normal Type R is this has got a number on the dash there. This is number 154 of 200 cars made. So that is basically the main difference. They're essentially just a Honda Civic Type R GT with a Mugen body kit, but they do also have an LSD. Did I even mention that? Did I mention that they've got an LSD? I'm pretty sure I did. They do have an LSD. That's a really interesting thing. I think what we'll do now is then we just throw my camera up in the window, we'll quickly fly through HPI, we'll then go for a little drive in it, and I might even do draggy times in it as well, all right? Let's go. paper mats on the floor. Always giving it a good clean up. I ain't talked to you about the mileage yet, actually, have I? Is that camera looking alright? It looks alright. What's really funny about FN2s, I just don't really see the logic in it. We had this conversation with Callum, my subscriber, when I was buying his car off him yesterday. The start button. So you put your key in ignition, you turn the key on, and you know, but naturally you'd want to then continue to turn the key to start the engine. But Honda chose to put an engine start button on the dash, which I think is really cool. We all love that. Sounds amazing. I'll talk about why it sounds slightly different to a usual one shortly. But if you want to turn the engine off, you actually just you don't press the same button to turn it off. You turn the key. I felt that like that deserved that dedicated time to be spoken about in this video, because that is a bit odd. But you know what? A start-stop button or a start button on the dash there is a nice feature regardless. So yeah, the mileage it's done is 49,350 miles. Let me just get a photo of that on my phone so I can capture this beautiful moment. Apparently averaging 26.8 miles per gallon as well. That's pretty good, isn't it? So yeah, the 2-litre VTEC engine would usually produce 200 brake horsepower. This one probably still does, somewhere near that. It's got a decat downpipe. It's also got an aftermarket air intake, so I would assume it probably produces a little bit more than that. Now, I did do draggy times on the Championship White Edition, which also has an LSD, but didn't have the little mods that this one has got, and that done 20 to 70 mile an hour in 6.88 seconds. All right, so I think that's got to be the car to beat. 6.88 seconds. That done 20 to 70 mile an hour. We'll conclude whether this is quicker shortly, but before we do that, we'll go back on my phone, pull up the HPI, and talk about, I suppose, specs and values of this car. All right, it's warm today, man. It is very warm. 17 degrees according to the Civic. So we will get aircon on, cool it down a little bit, let the car warm up as well before we go out for a drive. Recent checks, here we go. Forget about that, getting carried away. That is seriously good mileage though for a 12-year-old car, isn't it? Here we go then. Honda Civic Type R Mugen IVTEC. It's so nice when they put like the special name on the HPI, on the stamp of the car, so we know what we're dealing with here. It's a proper Mugen car. It's got 3 former keepers, which is brilliant for the age of the car. It's got great history as well, by the way. I'm selling it to you, and I don't need to sell it to you. Someone out there is going to fall in love with this car. Spec check, obviously a GT comes very well spec'd anyway from factory, like little things like the temperature controls on the passenger door handle, a little bit pointless, but this does have that. Optional equipment, £0. This car was £23,125 new, about £3.5 grand option over a normal Civic Type R GT, but that would have depended on availability, of course, because they probably weren't too available. I think that was money very well spent, and this is undoubtedly a future classic, right? So go back to anything else to talk about on the HPI. NMR check, obviously with a low mileage car you want to do your mileage check, and this one has no mileage discrepancies. MOT check, it's got an MOT till March 2023. Pretty good, basic stuff. Always important to check that out. It's even got half a tank of fuel, so I might even drive it home tonight. I think what we need to do is give it a little rev first. And now let's hit the road, yeah? It sounds so much better with a decat downpipe. Like, I'm not saying that they need additional sounds. That's a stupid thing to say. Every car needs additional sound. We always want more noise, don't we? But this car just sounds, this sounds ridiculous to me even summarising the sound like this. Sound. But it sounds more drap. It sounds so much more drap with a decatted downpipe. So induction noise is usually enhanced by a big air filter under the bonnet, but induction noise sounds quite standard to me on this car. The LSD is very fierce, very sort of, you can feel it tugging the road a lot. You notice that straight away when you drive one of these over a normal Civic Type R. Visually, I think that's what this car has got massively going for it over a normal Type R. It just looks so much different. It looks unique on the roads. We're on that horrible bumpy road again. Just get over this section of the video before we... That's it. There's VTEC. And you can't knock what Honda do as a brand. They build bloody good, reliable cars that are quick. Like for a 200 horsepower car, this is a very quick car. They look amazing. They offer special models, i.e. the Mugen, and I kind of compare this to like an E46 M3 CS. It sits well above the normal M3 market or the usual Civic Type R market in this example. It's more valuable, more unique, more special, more rare, and it's also quite a brave thing to buy. Now, I looked at the market, the FN2 Civic Type R market. They start at about £3,000. And I had a bit of a reservation about buying this car, I'll be honest with you. Although it is a beautiful thing, I looked at the market and thought, you can just get a normal Civic Type R for like 3 or 4 grand. Like, why are you going to spend all this extra money? I've not even told you what these are worth yet. The cheapest Mugen 200 Type R available on the net right now, I think is £12,000. That is a lot more money than a normal Civic Type R, guys. It ain't loads better either. It ain't like 8 or 9 grand better than a bog standard high mileage basic thing available at 3 or 4 grand. But one thing you pay for with anything in life is exclusivity. Is that word? Exclusivity? Yes, that is a word, Cal. It's more exclusive than your average Civic Type R. So is it worth it? Yeah, it is. Is there a massive demand for them? Yeah, probably not as much demand for something at this end of the market than there is at the lower end of the market, because there's lots more people that have got that amount of money to buy a Civic Type R. But this is an investment. This is a future investment. This particular car, in the condition that it's in, with the amount of bones that it's got, with the mileage that it's got, and the history that it's got, is a seriously collectible car. And with the way that all cars are going at the minute in value, specifically anything with a Type R badge, it was a bit of a no-brainer for me to buy it. Now, big shout out to Callum, the customer that come down to sell it to us. He was a lovely guy, he was very honest, he was very reasonable about what he wanted for it as well. He just wanted a straightforward, no messing around sale. We gave him that, and you know what, in return we've got a great bit of stock here. And I did say to him, Callum, expect to see that car on my channel, although I have done absolutely loads of Type R videos lately. I'm very keen to do more all the time, and no doubt there will be more Type R videos on my channel at some point soon. So yeah, I am massively excited about it. It's a great thing. What I need to do still is do draggy times, all right? Let's quickly cut to the draggy scenes section of the video and see if we can beat the Championship White Edition from 20 to 70 miles an hour, yeah? Right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Come on, car! Get that window up! V-Tech! Come on! The rev lights on the dash. I love all the character that these cars have got. They've got so much bloody character. So we're trying to beat 6.88 seconds. I'm going to look down now and see if we beat it. Oh my God. Nowhere near. We've done 8.08 seconds. Right, here it goes. 3, 2, 1. Floor it, floor it. Second gear. This is the run, this is the run. Come on! Let's have a look, let's have a look. Ho-ho! We just done 20 to 70 miles an hour in 7.65 seconds. Why am I getting excited? No. I'm trying to beat 6.88, you know.
Many hours later.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Guys, I'm gutted. Like, I'll be honest, I absolutely rate this car. This is a very cool car. But draggy times, it's not proven to be quite as exciting as I thought it was going to be. So the best time I've done, I'll show you a little screenshot shortly of all of the times. Wait, I'll hold fire for a sec. But the best time that I've done 20 to 70 miles an hour in this car was 7.41 seconds. There's a little screen grab of all of the times that I've done, and they're all in the region of, bar the big one there because that was me just chilling, but in the region of 7.5 seconds, right, which is quite disappointing. Trying to wrap my brains why this car is like over half a second behind the Championship White Edition. Now I'm looking at silly things like the rear spoiler, that could be bogging us. I don't know, it sounds sounds like I'm making silly excuses for the Mugen, but it's so strange. We've got this big spoiler on the back, which I absolutely love. I think it's a massive feature on this car, but perhaps it was available as an option because it does drag you down a little. I don't know.
Got him!
But the other thing that is quite a big difference between this car and the Championship White Edition car is the size of the wheels. This has got 19-inch wheels, that's got 18-inch wheels. Now, I don't know, I'm trying my best not to sound like I'm making excuses here, guys, but perhaps that has made a difference. We've also got a healthy amount of fuel in this car. That might have weighed it down a bit, but these are essentially the same cars, both got LSDs. This one does have a downpipe. It's still got the stock map, so it hasn't been tuned, therefore it shouldn't have much more power, but it should have more power because it's got a downpipe and it's got an air intake. I don't know. What's the conclusion? The conclusion is it's definitely not as quick statistically as the Championship White Edition car that we had on the channel recently, but it is an overall better car. It's more special. I compared it to an M3 CS, not a CSL, for the simple reason as the CSL is the top of the league M3 available in the E46 range. There is a Civic Type R better than the Mugen 200. They also do a Mugen 20, which was a 2.2 litre VTEC engine with 256 horsepower, and it's called a Mugen 20 because there was only 20 of them made. That is a super rare car. I think they were about £40,000 new. There isn't currently any of them available in the car market. Now, I would say that would probably be every other Type R on my Dragon leaderboard, but I'd highly doubt that I'll ever get my hands on one of them, all right? So I'm going to wrap it up, leave it as that. Thank you very much for watching. Really interesting video, interesting car, interesting subject. This car is just going to go straight up for sale, and that's it. Yeah. If you've got any cars you want to sell, do reach out to me. Either email me, calvin@calvinscardiary.com, or visit my website, thecarbuyingshop.com. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked this video. If you did like it, hit like, hit subscribe if you're new. If you're on Instagram, give me a follow on Instagram @calvinscardiary, and I'll see you in the next video, alright? Bye.